good? It's your girl Crombie coming into you with another episode of Talking Football with Crombie. Whew! It has been a crazy week, and when I say crazy, I mean nuts. But I'm happy to be able to get with you guys and talk about football. It's Saturday. We are one day away from the football games on Sunday. We had a game on Thursday, but a couple updates too. So wanted to do this show Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but realistically, I think that we are gonna just, on Saturdays, we're gonna get together, we're gonna watch me talk about football. What do you think? I really don't care what you think. Come watch me on Saturdays talk about football. Me and you, we can do it. Come on, let's do it. Nah, but on a real note, every Saturday, catch me, Crombie, talking about football. We're going to recap the Thursday game if there's a Thursday night game, and then we'll talk about the upcoming Sunday and Monday game. Let's get into it. All right, so let's get into the Cleveland and Cincinnati game. This game happened on Thursday. It's a Battle of Ohio. Who's going to be the 2 and 3 seeds? I had Cleveland coming in as number 2, Cincinnati at 3, and then obviously Ohio State as the number 1 Ohio team. But seriously, let's get into Burrow and Baker. Number 1 draft picks for their respective classes, laser accurate passers in their collegiate career. But how does that translate to the NFL? Baker saw some success his rookie year breaking records, but sophomore year, he definitely hit a slump. And going into his 3rd season, a lot of people are worried if this signal caller just isn't up to snuff. And in my opinion, he's not that great. Sorry. It is what it is. But Burrow, he definitely caught my eye. He's been able to do some stuff that I haven't seen done by a Cincinnati quarterback in a long time. But let's get into the game. Couple things to note. The game would start with Cincinnati scoring 3 points off of a field goal. Cleveland comes right back. Nick Chubb go ahead and get the scamper touchdown into the end zone. And then you get the back and forth. Cleveland making some key plays to be able to stop Cincy. And then ultimately Cleveland getting the win. But what are some of those key factors that led to the win? Couple things to note. Even though Cincinnati had the ball for 33 minutes versus Cleveland's, 26? They didn't turn that into points. They just had the ball. And then you look at Cleveland rushing 7.5 yards per carry. Every time they toted the rock, they got 7.5 yards. I don't know if Cincinnati looked at the scouting report, but they have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I'm talking about 2 running backs that on any other team would be the only running back, but they're in a committee. That's another problem. And then, obviously, Cincinnati has some offensive line troubles. They do. It's true. Cleveland did end up getting 3 sacks on Burrow for 31 yards. And in my opinion, one of the sacks shouldn't have happened because there was some type of miscommunication between Burrow and the center. I don't know if the center thought they were going for a punt, why Burrow was in the shotgun, but Burrow was looking at the ref and he was trying to call a timeout. So obviously when you have these type of miscues with a team, it's just because they haven't had enough practice together. I do think Cincinnati will get this turned around. I'm really hoping that Zach Taylor is going to be able to step up as a head coach. I understand that he's got a rookie QB, but this really falls down to head coaching. You got to get your players on the same page, reading the same book, on the same paragraph, on the same line. I know it sounds easy and it's like, oh, they'll get it figured out. They better, because the AFC North is stacked. And I'm not talking about the Cleveland Browns or the Cincinnati Bengals. We're talking about the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 of arguably the best teams in the AFC period, and they're in one division. So if Cincinnati and Cleveland want to be competitors, they're going to have to show up game in and game out. That means they're going to have to make some changes on offense. They're going to have to make some changes on defense. And they're going to have to make sure on special teams that they make big plays. You need your special teams to play special. Why would they call it special teams? I'm just saying. Cleveland, good game. Cincinnati, you got to do better. You just got to do better. I'm sorry. You got to do better. Let's get into a huge AFC East battle that has playoff implications. We got the Buffalo Bills, versus the Miami Dolphins. And when I think about the AFC, I'm so used to thinking TB12 and Tom Brady's gone. It's kind of weird, right? Could Buffalo be the team to beat now? I don't know. Miami beat the Patriots last year to end the season. How could this play out? Well, last week, the Dolphins would allow the Patriots to put up 21 with their new QB while only scoring 11 points. Yikes. On the other hand, the Buffalo Bills served the Jets a pretty nasty helping of whoop you know what, okay? And I don't really know, man. Do you trust the Bills? Do you trust Josh Allen? I don't know, but when I think about the Miami Dolphins versus the Bills, I'd probably take Josh over Fitzpatrick. I'm not gonna lie. He's like 6'12". I don't know. He's big as hell. He's big dude. Big dude. I'm taking him. I'm just saying. But let's take a look at the game last week. So Buffalo ended up playing the Jets, got the win there. And then Miami, we talked about playing New England and losing. So coming into this game, Buffalo put up over 400 yards. Sheesh. And Miami only put up, a little less than 300. So there are going to be some key matchups that are going to be important. One concern, though, and this is to the Bills head coaching staff, Bills OC, whoever is in charge of when Josh Allen runs. Let me talk to you. Me and you, right here. Bring it in, okay? Last week, your quarterback ran the ball 14 times for 57 yards. You're going to get your quarterback killed. Stop running him like that. And scene. Now, going into this game, there are some key injuries. I'm talking about major injuries that could change the whole course of the game. Let's get into that. Edmunds for Buffalo, out. Matt Milano, out. Yikes. Deshaun Phillips, no idea who he is. He's a rookie, though. I hope you're good. If you're not good, sucks to be you. Clayton, somebody with an F for Miami, is doubtful. Then DeVante Parker, questionable. DeVante Parker is always on the questionable list. Miami, check this out. There's no ambiguity around saying somebody's questionable every single week. He's been questionable since like 25th, whatever year he started, he's been questionable. Every game he's questionable. We know he's playing. Take him off the injury list. It helps us a lot. Thank you. Sorry, just need to say that. Now, how does this game play out? You got missing pieces on both teams, right? But at the end of the day, this game comes down to coaching, right? It does. Can the Bills coaching staff find a way to utilize their quarterback? It's okay to let your quarterback run. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It is not okay for him to run 14 times, okay? So, If the Bills coaching staff, their OC, head coach, get on the same page about how they can utilize their quarterback better, he's got a huge arm. I don't know. Throw it to Smoke Brown. I don't know. Throw it to Stephon Diggs. I don't know. Big plays should happen when you got a quarterback that has a cannon. Just throwing that out there. Coming into this season, everybody would swear that Miami's in rebuilding. And I agree, because they are booty. Woo! Sheesh. I'm talking about, you let Cam Newton, this is Cam, no disrespect to Cam. I don't want anybody to think we disrespecting Cam in here, because we just no disrespect. It's all love. Wakanda forever, baby. But you let Cam Newton run for 75 yards and 2 TDs. That's not okay. Miami, you got to do better. You can't let Cam run for 75 and get 2 touchdowns. You got to stop Cam. You forgot Cam was MVP? Oh, that ain't no problem. Oh, that ain't no problem. Oh, that's a problem. It's a big problem. So, if this game does not come down to the last play, I have Buffalo absolutely obliterating the Dolphins. Like, I know. It's actually kind of scary, because when teams go to Miami, they don't normally play good. They don't. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm trying to get to Miami and find out. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to find out. But realistically, Buffalo should be able to assert dominance. They should be able to take the reins on this game. At the beginning, they should be able to put Miami in their place. They should be able to put up big points. And then I expect them to run the ball down Miami's throat until the clock hits zeros. That's how this game should go. Put up big numbers early. Utilize the weapons that you have on the outside. The weapon that you came and picked up in Stephon Diggs. Utilize him. Smoke Brown want to smoke. Give him the smoke, okay? Give them the smoke, okay? Give him the smoke. Now, if for some reason Buffalo get down to Miami and it's one of those things that what happened in Miami, stay in Miami, they're gonna lose this game. That's all I'm gonna say. But Buffalo should be winning this game and be up at least 20 by the fourth quarter. That's what I'm saying. We'll see what happens in the game. All right, let's jump into San Francisco versus the New York Jets. The NFC champions of last year in the Super Bowl open up this season with a loss to Arizona? What? I was just as confused as everybody else. What? And then you look at the stats from the game, and they let DeAndre Hopkins go nuts. You cannot win games when you don't stop the best player on the other team. I'm going to just throw that out there. San Francisco took a huge L last week. And then you got the Jets. The Jets. Crickets? No, nobody watches the Jets. But, I mean, they're an NFL team. I don't really like their coach. Adam Gase ain't it, guys. I know you're going to say, well, who are you? I have common sense. And Adam Gase, he ain't it. Okay? Whoever needs to hear that. Whoever that's for you. Let's talk about these two teams, though, right? San Francisco should travel all the way to the East Coast and beat the brakes off the New York Jets. Like, there should be no question of who the superior team is in this matchup. But after San Francisco's performance last week, I'm going to be honest, I had some real concerns. Like, this is not the same team that I saw last year dominate. And obviously it's not. San Francisco lost some key pieces on their defense. They did. But guess what? It's a next man up mentality, and that doesn't just apply to the 49ers. It applies to every team in the NFL. When your key player goes down, guess what? It's somebody else's turn to be a key player. So it's going to be on the players to decide if they're going to step up to the challenge. And that's what this game is going to be all about because of the missing players on each side. Let's get into some of the key injuries or the players that you probably know that are going to be out. George Kittle, out of the game. Huge blow for San Francisco. Richard Sherman, also not playing. I'm sorry, but Richard, you need to hang it up. You be out there getting burnt. You be getting burnt, dog. Now I know you still got this. You do still got that. But everything else is shot, dog. I'm just saying. I love Richard Sherman. I don't want nobody to disrespect him. Do not disrespect him. But he need to retire. Him and Josh Norman. I don't even know if Josh retired yet, but listen. Sometimes you got to know when to hold them, and you got to know when to fold them. I'm just saying. Jamison Crowder is out. I'm talking about that's the Jets' #1 wide receiver. You know who's really a wide receiver too, but that's none of my business. Dee Ford, questionable. That's going to be a problem. You need Dee Ford. I'm just saying. There's a couple other players that I'm just not going to name because we don't know them. I'm going to post it though. I'm posting on the screen though, but we don't know. But in my opinion, even shorthanded, the 49ers are going to go into MetLife Stadium. They're going to put Sam Darnold in uncomfortable positions. They're going to get pressure on him. They are going to sack him. They're going to make him turn the ball over. That's going to be the key to this game. I think the 49ers get at least 2 or 3 turnovers. I'm talking about 1 to 2 picks, probably a sack, fumble, recovery. They might even get a touchdown. I'm serious. I got Nick Bosa balling out this game. So, Nick, if you're watching this, you better ball. And if you do ball, it's because I told you was going to ball, dog. I told you was going to ball, dog. I knew it. But this is going to be a test. It's going to be a test. If the Jets can find a way to muster up enough offense, they can stay in this game because Jimmy G, he's a clock manager. He might win you a game or two, but if you put all your eggs in one basket and you say, Jimmy G, here goes my basket, this is everything I got. You remember how they used to talk about don't give Tig in your baby? That's how I feel about Jimmy G. I just can't put all my faith in Jimmy G. He a GQ model, he ain't a quarterback. GQ, not QB. Or is it just me? I don't know. San Francisco win by 20, period. Next, we have the New York Giants versus the Chicago Bears. Very interesting. So Chicago is coming off a game they should have absolutely lost. Like, I don't know how they win this game. I honestly don't know how they win this game. I just don't. I'm looking at the numbers, and then you got the Giants that showed that their new head coach did not prepare them well enough for the stout Pittsburgh Steelers defense that they saw week 1. There were a couple things that I was interested in watching with this game, mainly the Chicago QB, Mitch Trubisky. There was a lot to be desired his first 3 quarters. I'm talking about snooze fest. I'm talking about this is not our QB1 from the fans. That's what they're saying. This we need to trade him. Start Nick Foles. It was happening. And then in the 4th quarter, I don't know, it was like Super Mitch. Like he just turned it on. It was like, where has this guy been the first 3 quarters? This is the quarterback. This is our guy. This is our QB1. Where you been, Mitch? I honestly don't know. I don't know. But let's talk about what's going to happen with the Giants versus the Chicago Bears. Immediately, when you think about the Giants, there's literally one player that I think of, and that is Saquon Barkley, the baller. And going back and looking at the stats here, I'm really worried because last week, Chicago gave up 435 yards, 138 on the ground. If you let Saquon Barkley loose, he gonna go for 200. Easy. 200. He is gonna go for 200 yards. Yeah, he gonna run all over y'all. The Bears, y'all better be prepared for Saquon Barkley. And if he's catching the ball out of the backfield, it's gonna be a long day for the Bears. I'm just saying. That's it. We got some key injuries. Golden Tate, questionable. Khalil Mack, questionable. Robert Quinn, questionable. Couple other players on here. Adrian Colbert out for this game. Carter Coughlin, questionable. Overall, I do believe that the Bears should win this game. They should win this game. They should be able to get to Danny Dimes and sack his lead. You know, they should be able to sack him a few times. I'm just saying. Saquon Barkley talked about in an interview, you know, where he missed some assignments. You better not miss no assignments with Khalil Mack. Because if you miss an assignment, you're going to fail. Big F. I'm talking, ain't no homeschool. You and your parent got an F on that assignment. I don't care who helps you. Everybody get an F. Y'all got 2 Fs. One for you, one for your parent. So, with that said, Saquon Barkley, know your blocking assignments, or it's going to be a long day for your quarterback. That's all I'm saying. Now, on the other end, because the Bears, y'all not off the hook at all. If Mitch Trubisky come in and give us that BS that we saw the first 3 quarters of week 1, he gonna get benched. And if Matt Nagy don't bench him, somebody need to call for him to get benched, because it is not okay to play mediocre for 75% of the game and then be like, oh, you know what? I could play good. I could throw some touchdowns. I could get the ball to my open wide receivers. No way. Yes way, Mitch. Study film. I know you probably studying film, but then at the same time, I don't know, because last year you was turning all the TVs off. So I don't know how you studying film and watching TV. But that's neither here nor there. But y'all need to get it together. I'm just saying. The Bears should win this game by a couple TDs. Giants fan, don't at me, but if you at me, come at me. I'm just saying, because I'm with it. I'm with it. Y'all gonna lose. It's gonna be a loss. Now, if the Bears cannot stop Saquon, Giants, hear me out. Y'all got a chance. But y'all need Saquon to run the ball. Y'all gonna need him to catch the ball. Y'all might need him to throw the ball. That's what it's gonna take for the Giants right now. New York, I know this is the Giants, but I'm going to just say New York in general, because this applies to the Jets too. Y'all need to maybe y'all should become one team, like New York Jets and the Giants could just become one ultimate sucky ass. One team. That might be the move for y'all. That might just work. I'm just saying. I'm just the messenger. Don't be mad at me. Our next matchup is the Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. We're talking Aaron Rodgers. We're talking Matthew Stafford. When these two guys get together, they usually light it up. And all the games I watched, they haven't disappointed. But Green Bay is coming off an absolute beat down of the Vikings. I'm talking, they put the paws on the Vikings. Like the Vikings, they got their tail between their legs right now. They hurt. They hurt in the inside. Now, Detroit, on the other hand, they're coming off another loss where they led going in to the fourth quarter. They led going into the fourth quarter. Let's look into this upcoming battle that's happening at Lambeau. It should be a really good game. I'm really looking forward to see what these two quarterbacks are able to do, even though they're missing some weapons. So let's get into some of those key injuries, because there are some big injuries going into this game. When you think about Detroit, Galladay is out, Hunter Bryant out, Desmond Trufant out, and then for the Packers, Lane Taylor, starting guard, is out. That's scary when you think about not having protection for Aaron Rodgers. Like, that is really scary. A couple other players also questionable and or out. I'll definitely make sure to post those. But last week, both of these teams put up a ton of yards. Detroit put up 435 yards. Green Bay putting up 522 yards. I'm talking smack down on the Vikings. Smackdown, okay? And then on the opposite side, their defenses both almost gave up 400 yards. That needs to get tightened up. So, Detroit, Green Bay, your DCs should be on the hot seat. There's no way that we should be giving up almost 400 yards on opening day. We had all off season to prepare for week one. And obviously, we were not prepared, regardless of what the win, how much we won by. You don't give up 400 yards week one. That should not happen. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to, blow nobody cover, but that's not okay. Now, both teams are dealing with these significant injuries, both on the offense and defensive side. But I just think that Green Bay finds a way to work through their O-line struggles. They find a way to get their key players to step up. But with Detroit, if they don't find a way to close out games, they will continue to go on this same path. I'm looking at the numbers here. They've lost 11 games where they've led in the fourth quarter, and this is started since 2018. I think that's right when Matt Patricia came on. 11 games you were winning in the fourth quarter or going into the fourth, and then you lost that game. To me, that speaks volumes about a couple different things. One of the main things being coaching and not preparing your team for when you get up on a team. You don't relax. You don't sit back and start laughing. You put your foot on their neck and you don't stop. They should not be able to get up, especially in the fourth quarter. Okay. So, with that said, at Lambeau Stadium, I'm taking Mr. Discount Double Check for the win. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers does not disappoint. Matthew Stafford does not disappoint. But when these two get together, when Matthew Stafford starts against Aaron Rodgers has won 7 out of 11 times. So I'm feeling really confident about Aaron Rodgers taking the Detroit Lions on a journey that they will regret, because he is about to own them. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Lions, if you don't want me to say stuff like this, do better. That's it. Just do better. That's all I'm asking. All right, let's jump into an AFC matchup. We have the Denver Broncos versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben quietly returned last week, and it was as if he was never injured. This guy was just slinging the ball around the yard. You love to see it, except if you're a Baltimore Ravens fans like myself. You hate to see it. That's a side note. On the other side of the spectrum, you got Drew Lock, a quarterback that came in, has played very well, in his career in the NFL. And also a guy very hard to take down. In Drew's 6 career starts, he's only been sacked 5 times. 5. He's only been sacked 5 times, and he started 6 NFL games. That's incredible. right? But this game should be over quick. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to act like the Pittsburgh Steelers are not the team that we saw on Monday night. That is exactly who that team is. They are nuts. I hate to say it, but the Pittsburgh Steelers, they look really good this year. And let's get into that Pittsburgh defense that we alluded to a little bit. If they can force Drew into some mistakes at the empty ketchup bottle, it's going to be a long night. Let's just be honest. At halftime, Denver might be ready to take it back home, okay? So, when we think about last week, Denver ends up losing a game they should have won, side note, and Pittsburgh puts a beat down on the New York Giants. Like, I'm talking, we are the dominant team, let us show you why type dominant, you know? But there are some key injuries in this game. For Denver, you got Phillip Lindsay is out. He ain't playing. That's a problem. David DeCastro, he's out for Pittsburgh. That's a problem. And then you got Cortland Sutton. He's questionable. And then a couple other players either questionable or out for the game, but not major names, in my opinion. Sorry. Maybe you are. I don't know. I'm not naming everybody. I'll post it though, okay? I'm sorry. Now, if the Broncos can find a way to stay balanced, I'm talking about they can, possess the ball on offense and get touchdowns. I said touchdowns. I didn't say field goals. I said touchdowns. They have to get touchdowns. You cannot put up field goals on the Steelers. You need to score touchdowns, okay? Now, there is a chance. There's a chance. Denver, come here. You have a chance to win this game. That chance is slim to none. But that doesn't mean you don't have a chance, okay? I don't want you guys to get it twisted. Now, if the Steelers team from Monday Night Football shows up at Heinz Stadium, by halftime, this thing will be a snooze fest. I'm talking, you got an extra pillow? I'm about to take a nap. I'm just saying, I might turn the channel. This game should be an absolute blowout. By the third quarter, the Steelers should be up 25, at least, minimum. But if Denver can find a way to play big, Sutton get out there and make some big plays, this game could be, But I do think there'll probably be better games to watch than this one. I got Steelers winning by at least 30. Yeah, at least 30. I know it sounds crazy, but listen, did you see the Steelers team on Monday? If you did not watch that game, go watch the game. I'm talking about balling. I don't even want to say this. I don't want to say it. Y'all know who I rep the Ravens. I'm not trying to talk about how good the Steelers look. I was hoping they was going to come out and be trash. They came out and was good. I was like, oh, dang. We'll talk. We'll talk more about the Steelers. All right, so let's jump into the AFC South. We got Jacksonville versus Tennessee. Both teams coming off huge wins. Tannehill, Minshew, two underrated quarterbacks. Ones that I would say a lot of times, nobody even talks about. Ryan Tannehill would have his coming out party against the Ravens in the play. I'm talking about put the smack down, made them call him daddy, all of that. Ryan Tannehill, that dude. And then you got Minshew Mania. Everybody know about the stash. But when these teams collide, what's going to happen? Because Jacksonville, they don't have Leonard Fournette no more. But do you know who Tennessee have? Do you know? They got Derrick Henry, a.k.a. King Henry, a.k.a. Who Your Daddy, a.k.a. your defensive players gonna be my blockers, a.k.a. Earl Thomas is my son, a.k.a. y'all better stop playing, a.k.a. MVP, rushing, a.k.a. y'all can't stop me, a.k.a. I don't want to tackle you, a.k.a. stop playing with me. I could go on. But I think y'all get the point. Derrick Henry is that dude. He's that dude. So what happens when Jacksonville go to Tennessee? What they gonna do about Derrick Henry? When you think about division games, it's always like a toss-up. Like it's anybody's game. But when I looked at this game, I said Tennessee is gonna go in there. Well, not even going there because they're at home. And you know, when you at your house, you know, you act up a little bit. I think the Titans, they act up a little bit on the Jags. And not even a little bit. They gonna act up a lot. Okay. Let's get into these numbers. Let's get into the numbers. Last week, Jacksonville allowed 451 yards to the Indianapolis Colts. The Phillip Rivers-led Indianapolis Colts. The Marlon Mack injured, not playing Indianapolis Colts. 451 yards. Not good. Okay. 363 of those yards were through the air. So you telling me that you let Phillip Rivers throw for 363 yards on you? That's not good for business, dog. It's not good for business. Now, there are going to be some key injuries. One name that for Tennessee is a huge blow. A.J. Brown has already been ruled out for this game. He's not playing. That, for me, that's a huge blow. I know that's a big body target that Ryan Tannehill likes to get the ball to, so him not playing is a problem. A couple other people out as well. I'll make sure to post those. Vic Beasley is questionable for this game. He could make a huge impact for Tennessee. Ultimately, I talked about one person mainly at the beginning of the segment, and that was King Henry. You know, Earl Thomas' daddy. I think I said that too. But really, if Jacksonville's offensive coordinator, I'm talking Jay Gruden, defensive coordinator, does not have a plan for Derrick Henry, he is going to be running into next week, next month. He's still going to be running after the game. That's how bad it's going to be. Do not be like the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs and let Derrick Henry run all over your team and throw a touchdown on your team. Jacksonville, I'm talking to y'all. You know Derrick Henry is on the Titans. He better not be the reason y'all lose. And then to the Titans. Mike Vrabel, my dude. You that dude. I'm telling you right now, you are that dude. I like you as a coach. I do. I think you a dog, and that's in a good way. You that dude, right? Use Derrick Henry. Use Derrick Henry. Let me say it one more time. Use Derrick Henry for real. Like just use him a couple times. I'm just saying. All in all, Titans put the smack down. Titans should be, in my opinion, top of the AFC South. And if they're not, it's because they didn't play up to the potential that they have, because they have some key playmakers on that Titans team. I know they lost some pieces in the offseason. A lot of times you can overcome losses with players by the fundamental coaching that you breed within your team, because your team understands that there's going to be an opportunity for somebody that's not starting right now to be able to start. So as a coach, if you can prepare your team and get them in the mindset that any day is their day, that's how your team succeeds. That's how you get a team to go deep into the playoffs when nobody thought you could. That's the Tennessee Titans. Y'all better get this win. Y'all better get this win, okay? All right, so next up we have the Minnesota Vikings versus the Indianapolis Colts. two teams, in my opinion, that are probably still pissed from week one after the losses that they took. Minnesota especially, anytime you have to play Aaron Rodgers, is always like, oh, we got Aaron Rodgers. How excited are we? You know, just a Hall of Fame quarterback with something to prove. Woo, so excited, right? And then you got the Colts. They got Phillip Rivers now. You know, Mr. I'ma either have a baby or throw a pick. Okay, maybe just I noted that. Side note. We won't talk about that. But the Colts, I know they're pretty sad right now. They ended up losing Marlon Mack in week one, so he's out for the season. Ends up tearing his Achilles. That's a huge blow, obviously, to their offense. But we've been talking about this all show. It's next man up. Nobody cares. Work harder, okay? Let's get into the stats, though. So last week, though, we talked about Aaron Rodgers lighting it up, but Minnesota gave up 522 yards to that Aaron Rodgers-led Packers team. That cannot happen ever again. I think this was only the second time that that's ever happened in like the Zimmerman era. And I know as a defensive-minded head coach, like Mike Zimmer is, to have something like that happen on an opener where we talked about all offseason to prepare for teams, and then you let a team put up 522 yards, I would be losing it. I'm talking losing it. But I think this is the game that the Vikings, they bounce back, right? They got to bounce back, right? Or do they? The problem is that when the Vikings have gone to go play the Colts, gone to go play in Indianapolis, they don't win. I'm looking at the stats here. Now, let's think about some things, right? Right now, the Colts are going to have to figure out, now that we've lost our starting running back, what are we going to do to make sure that we can still stay balanced in our passing and our rush game? We know Phillip Rivers can sling the rock. I think he's getting ready to embark on, I don't know how many passing touchdowns. He got all kind of records he's about to get. He's got just about every accolade you can think of except for the one that matters, which is a Super Bowl, right? And I don't know that he ever gets one. I'll be honest. It is what it is. Now, I am trusting that the Vikings are going to go to Indianapolis. They're going to impose their will on this, this hurt Colts team. And I love the head coach of the Colts. I'm going to say that. Frank, you that dude too. I talked about Mike Vrabel, but Frank, you that dude too. You have turned around this Indianapolis Colts team. You went through Andrew Luck retiring. You went through transitioning with different quarterbacks. So shout out to Frank, the head coach of the Colts, because he's found a way to get wins when they thought this team was rebuilding, unlike the Miami Dolphins, who actually are rebuilding. Side note, I'm just saying. But Minnesota goes into Indianapolis. They get this win. And I know I didn't talk about Kirk Cousins at all, but I am imagining that at the end of all of this, right, there is going to be some type of joyous, I bet you like that. Like, I'm talking about some hype, like, I bet you like that. Because Kirk Cousins right now, he feeling some type of way. Like, he feeling it. And I think that he'll end up having a very masterful performance, and that at all three stages, the Minnesota Vikings will find a way to get it done. That's offense, that's defense, and special teams. And I think Mike Zimmer has something to prove. He is pissed off. He's not happy about how his team did in week one. And the Colts are going to feel the repercussions of that. Colts, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this is about to happen to you. And then I'm sorry that it's going to happen at your house, because you should never let somebody come to your house and beat you. I'm just saying. But it's going to happen. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. It's not my fault. Don't be mad at the player. Be mad at the game. You feel me, dog? Now let's take a look at the Los Angeles Rams versus the Philadelphia Eagles. 2016 would be a year that many teams were looking for the heir of their QB throne. But Philly and the Rams, they weren't just looking for a quarterback. They were looking for a leader in the locker room. Goff and Wentz would go 1 and 2 respectively in their draft, and both see success early in their careers. Carson would end up winning a Super Bowl, although injuring himself in the Rams game and having Nick Foles actually win the Super Bowl. And then you have Goff, who within his first 3 years reached the Super Bowl, but just didn't have enough to get over the hump in order to beat the Patriots. So let's take a look into this game and see how these QBs match up and who got the best of their draft pick. So when we think about last week and, what happened with the Rams, being able to beat a really good Dallas Cowboys team, America's team that everybody talks about. And then on the other half of the spectrum, you have a Philadelphia team that's up 17 on Washington. And then they allowed Washington to rally with their second-year signal caller, Dwayne Haskins, for 27 points. And Washington wins that game. And it's like, how does that happen? Like, how does that happen? Like, when I think about the Washington football team, like, I think Ron Rivera, and I love him, great head coach, one of my favorites. I hope everything works out. I know he ended up getting an IV, I think, at halftime of that game because he's dealing with cancer. And, something you hate to hear, but this team rallied around their head coach to show that not only are they relentless, but even through adversity, they will find ways to win games, and they did exactly that. Philadelphia, on the other hand, I'm really looking at the head coach like, Doug, what's up, man? How do you let this team rally 27 points to 0? How do we let that happen? That's going to be one of the biggest concerns when I think about this Rams game, because the Rams have an elite offense. And you say, elite. They have an elite offense. And you know why? Because they have Sean McVay, and this dude is a freaking genius. Somebody that I share a birthday with. I've never been so excited to say that I shared my birthday with someone. But Sean McVay is a freaking genius. And I'm not just talking about on the offensive side of the ball. The guy knows how to rework the way that his players think in order to be able to reach the goals and see the success that they want to see. And his players have bought into the mentality that every single day, if they put in the work, they will get exactly what they've worked for. So, with all of that said, there are some key injuries. Alshon Jeffrey is out for this game. That's obviously a hit for Philadelphia, big wide receiver. You love to see him on the field, but honestly, Jeffrey hasn't stayed healthy in a while. I'm almost thinking it might be time to hang up the cleats. You hate to say that about a player that you really like, but when you can't stay on the field, maybe you shouldn't stay on the field. And then on the other side for the Rams, you got their favorite tight end, Everett, is out. So that's definitely a guy that Goff, would get the ball to. He's a big play tight end, able to go up and get it. So definitely somebody you want on the field. Looks like he will be questionable for this game. A couple other players questionable. We'll be looking for game time decisions on some of these as well. Now, I'm going to take a pause right here. I am concerned about Carson Wentz. And you might say, well, Crombie, what are you concerned about? Okay. If you didn't watch the Washington game last week, let me give you guys a little something you should know. Philly gave up 8 sacks. 8 sacks to the Washington football team. 8. They gave up 8. Can anybody name 2 defensive players on the Washington football team? I'm gonna pause right here. If you are a Washington football team fan, you do not count. You don't count because you actually watch them. Like, you actually watch. I'm not sorry about that. I don't care. So, anyways, Philly gave up 8 sacks. I'm going to name one player on the Rams, and his name is Aaron Donald. If you don't know who that is, you must be living under a rock, okay? I know for a fact that Carson Wentz is having nightmares thinking about Aaron Donald, because if the Washington football team can put up 8 sacks, I got Aaron Donald for at least 4 by himself. Yes, I just said Aaron Donald is going to get 4 sacks. 1, 2, 3, 4. He might have 5. I don't know. I don't even know. But let me tell you what he is going to do. He is going to be a disruption. He is going to cause problems for that Philadelphia offensive line. And if they don't get that shored up before they play the Rams, it is going to be a long day in Philadelphia. It ain't going to be a sunny day. I can tell you that right now. So, in a nutshell, I got the Rams going to Philly, putting the WWE SmackDown on the Eagles. And for the Philly fans, I love Philly, so I don't want y'all to be mad at me, okay? Don't be mad. All I'm doing is providing the facts. I looked at the numbers, I came up with my analysis, and from what I see and what I saw from last week, Philly losing. Straight up. They losing. I'm sorry, Philly. I bang with y'all too, but like the Rams, they about to, whoo. They about to, whoo. It's gonna be ugly, okay? It is gonna be baby mama ugly out here, okay? All right, let's jump into Carolina versus Tampa Bay. Last week, talking about TB12, Tom Brady had his first ever NFL game in a jersey other than the Patriots. He'd also play for a head coach he'd never played for in his entire career, and Bruce Arians. But in their first game together, it didn't really turn out for what they expected. But what would you expect when you play a Drew Brees-led New Orleans Saints team in New Orleans? I mean, seriously. And then think about Carolina. You got Teddy Bridgewater. He's under a new head coach. He hasn't been the starting quarterback, like the actual starting quarterback, like the QB1 for a team, since he was with Minnesota, and that was years ago. So when you think about the NFC South, 2 rivals matching up, what's going to happen? Well, I was interested in the numbers, so let's take a look at these 2 teams and see what the outcome might be. So we talked a little bit about Tampa Bay, taking a loss to the New Orleans Saints, but in reality, Tampa almost put up 400 yards on that Saints defense. And then as far as the Saints, they only put up 280 on Tampa Bay. So in my opinion, Tampa Bay's defense, they're really going to be what we're talking about when we talk about Tampa Bay. I know everybody's talking about Tom Brady this, Tom Brady that. Bruce Arians is lighting Tom Brady up in post-game interviews on some of the miscues that he had in the game. But I think this Tampa Bay defense is going to be the real noisemaker in 2020. And then when I think about Carolina, same thing. They put up almost 400 yards of offense. But then when you think about what that defense gave up, they also almost gave up 400 yards. And that's just not going to cut it. There's no game where you go in and your defense gives up almost 400 yards, and then you're like, yeah, we feel good about how we played. Never. Carolina, y'all got stuff to work on, and you know that. A couple of injuries on this game. Quan Short, somebody you might know. Chris Godwin, huge. If he's out, he's dealing with a concussion right now. He was in concussion protocol. Currently, they have him listed as doubtful. I think Tom Brady would like to have him as a weapon. We did see Tom going to, I think his name's Scotty Miller, some unknown wide receiver. Tom Tom Brady stuff. You know how Tom Brady does. Hopefully, Mike Evans is going to be able to be healthy. He's dealing with a hamstring. Last week definitely did not look like himself. At least not like the Mike Evans that we've seen when he had Jamison Winston as his quarterback and he's just, catching everything pretty much. One other player. There's one player I didn't talk about. I don't even know how I got this far into this analysis on this game, and we haven't talked about C-Mac. We ain't talked about Christian McCaffrey. Like, this dude is a beast. I'm talking about beast mode, and no disrespect to Marshawn Lynch, because shout out to Oakland. What's good? Bay Area, stand up. Dang, that wasn't supposed to come out. That was not supposed to come out. Seriously, let's get back into C-Mac. C-Mac is so dangerous, and let me tell you why. Because not only can he run north and south, and I'm talking about he can hit the hole hard. He knows how to find his spots. He knows how to. That boy got some. He got some wiggle. Like, you don't see a lot. You know what we say. You don't see a lot of running backs of his complexion got that type of wiggle, right? But not just that, the boy can catch. I'm talking about the boy can catch. Like, not only will he run north to south, he'll run east to west. He'll catch the ball out the backfield. So if Tampa Bay wants to shut down Carolina from the get-go, you need to contain Christian McCaffrey. That has to be the top of the defensive coordinator's mind. Stop the run. Whatever you do, stop the run. We cannot let Christian McCaffrey beat us, because if you do not game plan for Christian McCaffrey, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get beat. However, Tampa Bay should win this game. I think this game ends up being closer than a lot of people expect. I think it's probably a 3 to 7 point spread. That's what I'm thinking. 3 to 7 point spread. Tampa Bay still wins. Tom Brady has to find a way to get the ball to different wide receivers. He's got to trust his wide receivers too. We've seen TB12 do this before. Once he loses faith in you, you might as well get out the game, because you're not getting the ball. You are a decoy. You could run the best route. You run, hit that slant route wide open. He's looking at the next receiver. You are not in the progression. So, Tom, I'm not trying to get on you. I love you, Tom. Like, it's a love-hate relationship, though. Like, it's love-hate. Like, I don't want to get the wrong idea, right? But Tom, stop being like that. You too old to be acting like that, all right? All right, Tom? So, ultimately, Tampa Bay wins this game. They better win this game. They need to win, because if they don't win, they go 0-2, and you lose 2 division games, your first 2 games, division games, you lose both. That's not going to look good. And it's going to be really hard for Tampa to try to recover out of that if they're not able to get this win. And then you think on the other side too, Carolina can't afford to go 0-2, but realistically, one of these teams has to win. One of these teams has to lose. I'm going with Tampa Bay. Like I said, 3 to 7 points. This game will end up being close. It definitely will. All right, we got another battle. We got the NFC South Atlanta Falcons versus the NFC East Dallas Cowboys. 2 teams that took fat L's last week. I'm talking about Dallas, woo, and then Atlanta. Yikes. America's team in Dallas. Yeah, that's about right, because America been laying everybody down. If you know what I mean. Like, 2020 is crazy. But seriously, the Cowboys were stifled by the Rams defense. They literally scored, I think, 3 points in the second half. 3 points. It's 17 points total, but only 3 in the second half. Atlanta, on the other end, put up a ton of yards on the Seahawks. They had 3 wide receivers that had over 100 yards, and they still lost. they still lost. How does that happen? Well, let's dig into the numbers, because Atlanta's always screaming rise up, but in my opinion, I don't know if a lot of the players woke up for their game last week, and I'm really calling on Dallas. I'm calling on Atlanta. If you guys don't come to play in week 2, I don't know that your fan bases are going to stay as loyal, because right now, with the type of talent on both of these teams and the way that they just couldn't find a way to get a win last week, it's pathetic. It really is. It's disappointing. I'm not even a fan of either team, and if I was, I'm telling you, if I was, I would be. It's a disgrace. But let's get into it, right? Let's get into it. Atlanta put up 522 yards last week on Seahawks. 500 yards and a loss. Yikes. Dallas, over 400 yards and a loss. Yikes. But then let's look at what they gave up, though, right? They put up a ton of yards, but what did you give? What you give up? Atlanta gave up 400 plus yards. Dallas gave up 400 plus yards. Well, that's one way to lose a game. Give up a ton of yards to the other team. Allow them to own the time of possession. Oh, that's a way. Big problems. Atlanta and Dallas. Bring it in. You need to tighten up your defense. Cowboys, y'all too good to be having stuff like this happen. I know Van Der Esch went down. I know Sean Lee needs to retire. He's hurt again. He's out for more time. Retire. Sean Lee, love you. Great player. Retire. It's time. Listen, hang up the cleats. You could be a coach. You could be an outstanding linebacker coach. You know Jerry got your back, dog. Just call it. But there are some key injuries on the injury report for this game coming up. Julio Jones is questionable. Amari Cooper is questionable. Tyron Smith. This is a big one for Dallas's offensive line. I think Tyron's dealing with a neck issue. This could be ongoing. This is something that they definitely can't have happen. If this O-line takes a hit, I don't know who they have coming in. I think got a couple sophomores that can take the spot, but it's not looking good. A couple other people on the injury report too. In a nutshell, okay? The Cowboys need to win this game at AT&T Stadium, and they need to do so in a way that will shut up their critics, me being one of them. I've seen Dallas draft CeeDee Lamb, and it was like, what? They have three great wide receivers, arguably maybe the best trio in the league. You got Amari Cooper, you got Mr. Extension, Michael Gallup, and you got the rookie, CeeDee Lamb, a baller. Yet, we're not utilizing the weapons we have? What? That's a problem, okay? Atlanta. Y'all gave up 4 TDs to Russell Wilson. I'm not gonna question it, because I know what Dangerous can do. Dak ain't Russ though. I'm telling you right. That's not the same. These are not the same. Don't treat them the same. Okay? Dak is not on Russ level. So what does that mean? What does that mean for y'all? Y'all need stops. You need to be able to stop the quarterback from throwing 4 TDs. It is what it is. But Atlanta, if you guys can't put a cork on it and you can't stop Dallas, you won't see a ton of Ezekiel Elliott. I'm talking about Zeke in the end zone showing off his feed me tattoo a couple of times. You know what you don't want to see, Falcons fans? You don't want to see Ezekiel Elliott belly button, because you know what that means? That means he scored, okay? Atlanta, rise up, okay? Cowboys, y'all should win this game. Mike McCarthy, you the head coach of the Cowboys now. You not with the Packers. You ain't got A-Rod. Your quarterback can't just go out there and sling it and make stuff happen. No disrespect to Dak. but he ain't that dude, okay? That's why he didn't get paid. Yeah, I said it. He didn't get paid because he not that dude, okay? If Andy Dalton ends up being the starting quarterback, I would not be surprised. I'm just calling it like I see it. I'm just calling it like I see it. Dallas, y'all better win this game. Atlanta better not come to your house and whoop you at AT&T. Because if it is, boy, as somebody that lives in Dallas, I'm going to be hyped. So Dallas, get your stuff together. Make it happen. All right, now let's take a look at Washington and Arizona. Two teams coming off of thrilling comeback wins in week 1. Really excited to, in my opinion, get into week 2 and see what they can do against their next opponent. Kyler Murray was able to show that not only can he get it done through the air, but he beat the 49ers significantly on some key runs where, play broke down, nobody's open, and then he just, and it is funny because Kyler Murray, the way he runs is like a little 2-year-old, like one of those bad little kids, where their parents are like chasing them through the supermarket. That's what he looks like to me. Amazing. Love Kyler though. Great guy. On the other end, defensively, Washington showed that their defense they nasty, man. Now, granted, Philadelphia's O-line is not good, but Washington would put up 8 sacks on that on the Philly O-line. I'm talking about Wentz on the ground, jersey dirty. You're going to have to wash that jersey tonight, baby. Okay? Now, the question is, can Washington put up enough points to keep up with, I would say, a new offensive juggernaut in a team like the Cardinals? And you said Amber, or Crombie, offensive juggernaut. What? The Arizona Cardinals? Yeah, that's what I just said. They have DeAndre Hopkins. They have Larry Fitzgerald. They have Kenyon Drake. And their quarterback is Kyler Murray. Those are juggernaut players when you put them together on one team. Yes, I just said it. What you going to do about it? You going to be mad? I don't care. Let's look into the numbers, though. How does this game play out? Like, seriously. Well, if Arizona does not come to play, I'm saying it right now, Washington will come into Arizona and they will quietly, I said quietly, find a way to win this game. I don't think Cliff Kingsbury is going to let that happen in Arizona's opener. I think that he's been pretty open in his communication about what he wants to do with his quarterback, what he's going to do with his players offensively. So I don't foresee this happening. I just, honestly, I don't think Washington has the offensive players to be able to keep up with, the players that I talked about. Last week, DeAndre Hopkins had 14 catches for, I think, like 151 yards or something like that. Who's going to guard him? I know we talk about Mike Thomas can't guard Mike, but DeAndre Hopkins? What cornerback do you have for D-Hop? You don't have one. I can tell you right now, Washington, you do not have one. But let's look at the injuries. People you might know. A lot of these people, I have no idea. Never heard of you before, right? You might know Kendall Fuller. He's questionable. Thomas Davis, senior questionable. He should retire. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. A couple other players, I'll make sure to post it. If Arizona is not up significantly at half, I would be really surprised. And I say this because I talked about offensively the type of weapons that they have. When you have a veteran like Larry Fitzgerald that, like, in the slot, he's just marvelous. Like, the way that he runs his routes are just so effortless, and he's been in the league forever. I mean, and he's just gotten better, like fine wine. Love me some Larry Fitz. That's my boy. That's my boy. So, realistically, this game is going to be won on time of possession, because I do think that while Arizona should be able to really get up on Washington, I think that Washington's defense, it's something about playing for their head coach. Ron has got these boys, he's got their flame ignited. They got a rookie, I can't think of his name right now, but they got the rookie that they drafted And he was an all-star in his first game. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be looking for him to step up again to be able to do the same things. But I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think Arizona gets the win in their home opener. Washington will go home, and they'll definitely have some holes on both the offense and defense that they'll need to address and get ready for as they go into week 3. Absolutely. Let's talk about Kansas City and the Chargers. If you follow football, this was a game that you definitely went to your calendar, you circled it, and you said, I'm not watching this game. This is going to be a blowout. I'm not even going to waste my time and talk to you about what the Chargers can do to try to beat the Chiefs. There's literally nothing that they can do to beat the Chiefs. I don't care what way you slice it. The Chiefs, this team, they got better. You ever see a Super Bowl team, you be like, yeah, well, at least they're not going to get a high draft pick. What? Do you know what running back they have? Clyde Edwards-Helaire? I don't even know how to say the man's name. The boy is a baller, okay? And then you pair a good running game with a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, Mr. Money Man? Yeah, this is not going to be a good game. The only way I can see the Chargers staying in this game is if Kansas City finds a way to keep turning the ball over. Like, they're going to have to turn the ball over. They're going to have to try to get Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. I don't even know what the Chargers could do to win this game. I don't. I do think the Chargers have a great pass rush. I don't think that they will get to Patrick Mahomes. And if they do get to Patrick Mahomes, what is Patrick Mahomes going to do? He's going to do what he always do. He's going to throw some type of sidearm, close eye, left arm. He's going to do something crazy, something you've never seen before, because that's just what he does. This guy he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm saying it right now, and I think a lot of people, yeah, we know that already. That's great. Some people don't believe it, but this guy, he has God-given talent. Everybody, you can practice. We talking about practice? Yeah, you can practice all day, and there's some things that you will just never be able to do because you just don't have the talent. It is what it is. Patrick Mahomes is that dude. He got that splat, okay? And Andy Reid, he been in the league for a while, and I don't think he get enough respect. So for all y'all that been disrespecting the man, give him his flowers now. Give him his flowers now. I got Chiefs winning by 35. I do. I think Anthony Lynn and his Chargers team are going to have to go back to the drawing board. They're going to have to look for answers. And the problem is that they're not going to be able to find any answers because they just don't have the weapons to beat this Kansas City Chiefs team. There's no way around that. So I got Chiefs winning big. All right, so let's get into my team. I'm super hyped. Baltimore Ravens, we're taking on the Houston Texans. We got to go down to H-Town, and we about to put the smack down. Yes, this is another one of the games that I'm not going to get into the analytics. I'm not even going to talk about it. Listen, we have Lamar Jackson, the MVP of last season. I want to tell y'all something. And a lot of y'all not going to accept this. He got better. Yeah, that regression that y'all were talking about. Oh, they got him figured out. They said that last year. Oh, they got him figured out. They said that the year before. Let me tell you something. We talked about Patrick Mahomes having that God-given talent. Lamar Jackson, he's a different breed. This guy can make grown men look silly out there on the field. And I'm serious. You guys have seen the highlights. I don't have to make any of this up. And as I look at this game, Baltimore versus Houston, Baltimore's got to go down to Houston. I think this is the furthest that we travel all year, over to Texas. Houston made some big mistakes in the offseason. And I understand salary cap, all that stuff, but they let some key players go for next to nothing. Seriously. I think Bill O'Brien got robbed at gunpoint when he let D-Hop go to Arizona. Straight up. Like, that's just what it is. Like, what happened? Like, seriously. So, Ravens, Texans. Yeah, this is going to be ugly. I think Baltimore comes out and all three phases balling. Honestly, I don't think Lamar freaky L. By the fourth quarter, he's probably going to be sitting on the bench with his Oakleys on, smiling, laughing at the haters because, like I said, when y'all waiting for him to fail, and it's funny because you're holding your breath, waiting for Lamar. I'm going to tell y'all something right now. Y'all going to suffocate. You're going to suffocate. So I want to silence all the critics. Lamar Jackson is the player that you see. He that dude. Okay? You guys will see this year why I continue to say that. And I just want to silence everybody on the Baltimore Ravens, on my team, on my squad. We have one of the best head coaches. We have one of the best offensive coordinators. We have one of the best defensive coordinators. We have the best special teams coach. We do it at all phases of the game. And let me tell you what Houston's not going to be able to do. They're not going to be able to do anything about the pass rush. They're not going to be able to do anything about Lamar getting outside of the pocket. They're not going to be able to do anything about Marquise Brown. They're not going to be able to stop our special teams. I'm thinking we might run a punt back or some type of kick. I'm just feeling that. I'm feeling that happening. So, all in all, we got a couple of key players out. Ronnie Staley, offensive tackle for Ravens, is questionable. That is one to note. Brandon Cooks, also questionable for Houston. Somebody else to note. But overall, this should be a blowout. I don't see Houston getting more than 10 points in this game. I see Ravens getting at least 35 to 40. Definitely trying to put up a 40 burger for sure. Finally, let's get into the nightcap for Sunday. New England versus Seattle. Cam Newton versus Russell Wilson. After a convincing week one, Cam Newton puts up, I think, 75 yards with his legs, 2 TDs, and then Russell lit up the Atlanta Falcons, dropping 4 TDs. Dangerous. That's what his name is. Okay? So, couple things to talk about. Even though we start off and the first thing you say is Cam Newton, Russell Wilson, the real matchup here is with the head coaches. And even Russell talked about this. You got Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll, 2 of the oldest head coaches. I would say some of the most respected head coaches taking their teams into war. Belichick bringing his team all the way from New England into CenturyLink, looking to get his second win with his new quarterback in Cam Newton. While I do think this game will be close and it could be within a field goal, ultimately, I think that in the final seconds, Russell Wilson will find Tyler Lockett, and at the edge of the end zone, it'll be a toe tap. It's going to be obviously they review every score and play. They're going to review it, and it's going to be ball game. Just like that. But let's keep in mind a couple things, because I definitely think that Seattle wins this game, but I don't think the Patriots come in and they're automatically defeated. They've got some players on their side. I'm looking at injuries though, right, too. There are a couple of injuries that I would like to note when you think about this game. Matthew Slater is out. Is questionable. Julian Edelman is also questionable. N'Keal Harry, questionable. And then Philip Dorsett, who used to play for New England, questionable for Seattle, right? But I don't know. I just don't see, Belichick going into the Emerald City and having the same success that he had in week one versus the Dolphins. This is not that team. Seattle has Adams now on the back end at safety, and that's scary because he put up big numbers last week. And if you thought that the Seattle paid too much for Jamal Adams, I don't think they paid enough after seeing what he was able to do in week 1. But we'll talk about that at another time. So I got Seattle winning at home. They're going to find a way to win this game. They're going to grind it out. I think Pete Carroll is still upset about the blunder from the Super Bowl. You run the ball with Marshawn Lynch. You run the ball with Marshawn Lynch. Okay? Sorry, I still feel it. I still feel it a little bit. Yeah. Anyways, Seattle wins. Seattle wins this game. In the final game of week 2, Monday night, we have the Saints at the Las Vegas Raiders, where they're opening up their brand new stadium. I know Raiders fans are super excited, but not to rain on your parade, your grand opening and all that. And I don't want to waste nobody's time. Like, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to do that. So let me tell you what's going to happen. The Saints going to hang 45 on the Raiders, and they going to walk out the dome like they walked in. Cocky, okay? The Raiders ain't got nothing for the Saints. They have nothing. You ain't got nothing? You ain't got nothing? If you don't know what that's from, figure it out. Seriously. Seriously. Now, Josh Jacobs. I really like this guy. Like this guy a lot. I think that he will have some traction. I think he'll be able to get, some yards. I think that the best role he'll be able to play for this offense is being able to catch the ball out of the backfield. Like, he's going to have to do that for his team to remotely stay in this game. I think the Saints find a way to put up big numbers. Even with Michael Thomas, it looks like he's doubtful for this game. I think they still find a way to do it. There's a couple other questionables here. Marcus Davenport for New Orleans is questionable. Trent Brown is questionable. Richie Incognito for Vegas. Henry Ruggs, the Raiders draft pick this year, he's questionable. Honestly, it doesn't matter if he was playing, if he wasn't playing. Saints, they're going to put up a 40 burger. And Raiders, they're going to be left empty like their stadium has always been. Hey, I love the Raiders. I'm from Oakland, so don't do me like that. But I'm just telling y'all, this Saints game, this ain't y'all game. This ain't it. I know y'all got a win last week, and that was cute. Y'all, New Orleans about to, they about to do that thing. So I love y'all though. Don't get it twisted. But New Orleans about to, Sorry. As we close it out, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to Talking Football with Crombie. This has been one of the things that I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and sometimes you just don't have the courage to do it. But we did it. We got this. Shout out to my mama, baby. Shout out to all of the people that support me. Shout out to my grandmother that get us. She up there working, that's for sure. But I want to thank y'all. See y'all next Saturday. We gonna get tight. We gonna get lit. We gonna do all of that. Let's get it.
Silly talk. I'm on walk. Yeah. I got a mask and the main attraction. Yeah. I run it up like Lamar Jackson. Yeah. You think I'm a lame? I don't say much. But I'm hanging out the window. I'ma spray much. Yeah. Niggas wanna go to war with a battle. Oh Lord, I'ma have to.